aren't you so worried about the creative aspect that you're losing the content piece? The content piece is, can you tell me what the big industries in North Carolina are? Can you recognize when you look at a picture a representation of that industry? Now, once you have all that put together and you've pulled all your pictures together, then if you have enough time, you can kind of say, okay, now I'm going to play with it and maybe be a little creative, and that's fine. But I want the focus to be on actually the industries, okay?
Is there like a minimum of how many pictures we need?
That's a good question. It's not about the number of pictures. It's about the number of industries you're representing, okay? So, how many industries do you think would be a fair representation of our economy? 5?
7.
8. 10.
I think 7 or 8 would be sufficient. 7 or 8. Okay? And there are some that we did not list. There's viticulture. Who knows what viticulture is? Nobody?
Is it art?
Oh, I'll put the word up there, and if you decide you want to find out, there's a dictionary right up here. But it is another industry that we have not mentioned. Yes.
Would colleges be part of tourism?
No, that's a good question. What do you think colleges would be?
Education.
That's an industry in just about every state, right? It is a big part of our industry. We have a lot of high name or, highly recognizable universities in our state. So here is viticulture for you. You could do anything that represents education to you. And then on the back, I just want you to make sure that you list the industries that you're representing. Yes.
Do you have to be like all pictures, or can we like put out a word of like?
What a great question. And thank you for asking that. A lot of times what makes a collage really interesting is when you mix words with pictures. So once you have all your pictures, it would be kind of cool to find some words or to make some words, because you can cut separate letters out in different sizes and make words that relate to your collage. Okay? Last question. Glenn.
So are we going to like put the pictures beside, like next to each other, instead of like kind of stacking them on top of each other like that?
No, you're going to make a collage. You're going to make a collage. So there's going to be some overlap. So you have to, if I were you, I would cut them larger. And then before you glue anything, I would take the time to place them and make sure they're, just so, and that you're not covering up the parts that you want to show. Okay? All right, you can cut your paper in the shape of the state. You can leave it rectangular. You can do whatever you'd like. But I don't want it this big. That's not going to help me, is it? So it can help me see those pictures and make sure that you understand what the industries are. So 8.5 by 11-ish. Okay. All right. So I do have lots of Our State magazines up here. If you are I'm going to put some on, several on each team's table, but if you're finished with it at your table and you don't need anything else out of it, please bring it back up here so that somebody else can trade out when they're finished with theirs. Okay? Does anybody have any questions? I'll get you your paper too. Yes?
Is this individual?
Individual. Yes, you're each responsible for your own.
So, if you need another one, you just put it there and
Trade it out. Yep. Jake, would you get some white printer paper and make sure everybody has a sheet? And let's have the Janies from each table come up and get 4 magazines. That's 4. That's 4. What's this for?
This pretty kissing.
hotels and stuff and like spend. That's not
Oh, it's an old school desk. It's hard to tell what that is. I think I'd try to look for something that's a little bit easier too. That's not sticking in there. There's some. Honey, it's right there on the board.
I found the farmer's
The word is
market.
on the board. It's not VIP. Look at it.
VIP.
Come here.
Just randomly.
Watch agriculture? No. It's not agriculture. Play. Yeah, it is play. Yeah. Oh, we have farmers. Wait, like, what is it? You live in
Of course it is. It looks disgusting. Where's that guy's face? This is good.
I think it would help if you took
I have seven. I only need one more. See where's the fun of it. Alright, so I know
Oh yeah.
look, and this is
That is weird that it's like exactly front to back.
Forestry.
wait, that's two lighthouses?
Yeah. This one?
See?
How weird is that? That's lucky. That's a good fight. But you know what? I would go with this one only because do you think it's more visually appealing? Yeah. That was just, I think that one might blend in.
If you find anything, I found
What do you see here? So there's a lot of them here. So if anybody at your table is missing textiles, feel free to share that with us. Which is a, okay, what's this? Furniture. That's two. What's this one?
it's not.
Fishing. You have to put them all going right side up. Be creative. So then you're going to have to be really careful. Okay, just a few things as I'm walking around, and I want to say it one time so everybody can hear it. Let's talk strategy here. If you have a large, fabulous picture like this is a great picture for agriculture, isn't it? Okay, very colorful, and it also has bushels of, looks like apples.
Peaches.
Peaches, yeah, I guess they are peaches. All right. Do you think you want to put this one down first?
No.
Well, yes.
Why, Jones?
Because you could cover, because it doesn't matter. But you just need to like show.
Well, it's easier to fill in with smaller pictures. It's harder to place the larger pictures. If you put your little pictures down first and then go to stick this puppy on there, what's going to happen? You're going to cover all the other ones. So if I were you, strategy-wise, I would worry about the larger ones first. But I don't want anybody gluing until you have all of the elements you need. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions at this point? Most of you are not having any trouble finding anything, which is great. Okay. All right. Keep working.
Who wants some textiles?
For banking, what could we use?
Oh, I have
Okay, why does it have to be a price?
Jake, you know what for education.
Because if you look in these, a lot of these have ads for specific banks. So like you could almost for bank and just choose like the name of a bank. Does that make sense? You certainly could, couldn't you?
Or I could just cut out
See, things like words would be good too. Words really add a lot to people understanding what they're looking at. Hey, let's see if we can follow directions. I'm going to give each one of you an envelope. Put your name on the envelope and put the pictures you've cut out in the envelope. Alright? Then we'll store the envelopes on the back counter until tomorrow, at which time we'll start putting these together. So look at the clock. I want everybody to pay attention. Look at the clock. We are doing the cafeteria in 7 minutes. Now, without getting crazy and running around, you're going to do what?
Put it up.
Repeat the directions. Somebody tell me what I asked you to do. Isa?
Put the pictures you cut out in the envelope and clean up your room.
And put your name on it, because tomorrow you want to get your pictures back. Right? And that way you don't have to worry about them falling out all over your desk or getting all wrinkled in your desk. I'll just collect them and stack them up, okay? Okay, so today's lesson, I was trying to, or attempting to, wrap up some research they'd done in the Media Center on industries in North Carolina. She had spent several weeks having them research an industry and present their findings, and they had talked about the way that that industry affected the economy of North Carolina. And it was important to me that they didn't only know about the industry they were assigned for research, but that they understood that there were other industries that all work together for our economy. So the objective was for them to be exposed to other industries in North Carolina in a creative way. The class I have this year is very much involved with art. They like anything artistic, so I'm trying really hard to come up with assignments that hit the content, but also kind of inspire them or engage them a little bit more, so that I'm delivering the objective or the standard through an artistic assignment. So that's why I chose to do it that way. It's the culture of the class I have this year. As far as what worked and what didn't work, I would have liked to have more magazines. I asked them for several days to bring them in, and I don't think people buy a lot of magazines anymore, I guess. I don't know that a lot of print material, I think most of them are getting it online. So I might have to alter that next year, or if I do this again, by letting them print some stuff off the internet to use in their collage, or even illustrate. I really wanted them to understand too the idea that industries are, and I can't believe Katie got it right away when she said, we look in the ads, because that's what they advertise. They're trying to make money, that's an industry. So that was a connection that I was hoping they would make more toward the end, but it kind of came up, so I just